Hi everyone, we'll begin the practice by lying down on our backs. So, getting down onto your backs, taking your knees towards your chest. This is a practice that can be done evening or any time really when you have the time. So just getting comfortable on the mat, on the floor, going from side to side, making small circles on your lower back. And we'll begin a gentle warm-up. So starting to cycle with your legs, big cycles. If you can't do big cycles, no problems. Small or medium cycles. Easy breathing throughout the practice. And change direction. Wonderful. We're going to take both of our legs up towards the ceiling. We're going to point our toes and flex our toes. Point, flex, point, flex, point, flex, and do circles with our ankles. In any direction is fine. We'll be swapping the direction anyway. Change direction. Fantastic. Resting your feet on the mat. You're going to bring your toes, feet together, and you're going to let your knees fall apart. So we're doing a Supta Baddha Konasana, and we're just going to bring your knees together and let your knees fall apart. And again, knees together, letting them fall apart. A few more times at your own pace. So this is warming up our inner legs as well. And now we'll hold in stillness. So my feet are together, my knees are falling apart. And you're just trying to relax your knees, relax your lower back. As I said, easy breathing throughout the practice, unless I say, give you specific instructions. We're going to use two of our fingers and we're gently going to just press the knees slightly down. It's like a few millimeters down, and you'll straight away see the change though. You'll straight away feel that opening on the inner legs. So just gently press down with your index finger and middle finger. Wonderful. Bring your knees together. Take your feet mat distance apart, and we're going to do some wiper action. So let your knees fall to the left and then fall to the right, to the left, to the right, and carry on a few more times. Okay, coming back to center, we'll start to work on one leg at a time. So I'm going to raise my right leg up to the ceiling, and I'm going to do some point and flexes again. So just a few point and flex with your right leg. We're going to hug that right knee in and hug it tight towards your chest. If you have the capacity, if you want to, you can straighten this left leg down on the mat. Keep hugging that right knee in. Now we're going to raise the right leg up towards the ceiling. You're going to hold under your thigh or your calf or shin, wherever you can easily hold onto the leg. And then all we're going to do is we're going to do a tiny dip in the right leg and then straighten. Tiny dip, straighten, tiny dip, straighten. One last round, tiny dip and straighten. Release that right leg down, or you can keep the right foot on the mat. Hug the left knee in towards your chest. Keep hugging the left knee in. Easy breathing. If you have the capacity, if you feel like you can straighten this right leg on the mat. Fantastic. We're going to straighten the left leg, point, flex, point, flex, point, flex. Holding onto the back of this left leg, and we're going to do a tiny dip and then straighten. Tiny dip, straighten. One last time, tiny dip and straighten. Wonderful. So still going, working with the same theme. We're going to hug the right knee in again, and this time we're going to go into the Ardha Pavana Muktasana. So we're going to raise our head and we're going to try to touch your nose to your knee. So wherever you are, even if your nose is not touching your knee, no problems at all. Just hold wherever you are. Fantastic. Release your head down. Release that right foot down. Hugging the left knee in. Hold it tight. Feel free to straighten the right leg if you want to. And you're going to lift your head again. You're going to take your nose towards your knee. If you can brush your knee, great with your nose. If you can't, no problems at all. Just hold wherever you are with this. And release. Wonderful. You're going to straighten that left leg as well. Maybe shake your legs a bit. And then we're going to come to one side. So I'm going to come to my left so that I'm facing the camera. We're going to stack our knees on top of each other. So stack the knees on top of each other. I'm going to stretch my left hand out. I'm going to rest the right palm on top of the left hand. I'm just going to open up. So I'm going to open my chest and my heart up towards the ceiling. So gliding this right hand on top of the left, slowly moving your body, moving your torso with it. And then all you're doing is you're stretching that right hand out. You're trying to keep those knees stacked on top of each other if you can. And then release the right shoulder. Feel free to close your eyes down if you want to. It's a big stretch on the right hand side. Because we are lying down on the floor, it's a nice supportive stretch. So sort of variation to the Markatasana. Slowly coming back and resting your right palm on your left palm again. So I'm just going to swap directions. You can just roll over to the other side just so that I'm facing the camera. I'm just going to swap sides. So this time I've got my left hand stretched out. Knees are stacked on top of each other. Knees are roughly hip level. And then I'm going to start by taking my left palm on top of the right hand. And this time we're going to slowly open up again to the back, but to the left. So slowly gliding that left hand from the inside, turning your torso so that you're opening your heart to the ceiling. opening that left hand out. You're trying to still keep those knees stacked for a bigger stretch. If keeping those knees stacked is just not possible, then don't worry about it. We work with whatever capacity, whatever flexibility, whatever mental state that we are in today. Trying to release that left shoulder down. Feel free to close your eyes down. Wonderful. Bringing that left palm back onto your right. And then from here, we're going to sit up. We're going to stretch our legs out. And we're going to hug the right knee in. So hugging the right knee in, we're just going to do a seated twist and then we'll move on to the Paschimottanasana. So hugging the right knee with my left hand and I'm twisting back to the right. The right hand can rest on the floor or you can wrap that around your waist. Completely your choice. So now the twist is where you should feel the twist from the base of your trunk, mid-back, and then shoulders. And then your head just follows the body. You're not yanking your neck and leaving the rest of your body straight, but the twist really starts from the base of your spine. Looking back, looking at the corners of your eyes to the right so that your eyes get involved as well. Don't let your left leg get lazy, keeping that left foot flexed. Wonderful. Release. Swapping legs. So right leg is stretched out, right foot is flexed, hugging the left knee in with my right hand. And then again, I'm going to twist from the base of my spine, mid-back, shoulders, and then the head just follows. Your left hand can just rest on the mat behind you, or you can wrap that around you. Your choice. We will hold for a few breaths. All the twists are really excellent for improving digestion and for improving posture. Releasing out of the twist, straightening both of your legs. We'll start with the staff pose. We'll start with the Dandasana, pressing your calves down, pressing your thighs down. Nice upright posture with your torso. Imagine somebody's pulling you up through the center crown of your head. And so nice straight posture, looking straight ahead. And now from here, we're going to hinge in our backs, in our hips, and we're going to move into the Paschimottanasana. So taking both of your hands up towards the ceiling, hinging in your back and folding forward. So it doesn't matter whether you can reach your toes or not. Your hands can be by your calves, your shins, your ankles, outsides of your feet, or the big toe. Completely your choice. So trying to keep your spine nice and straight. So even if it means that you're quite upright, it's a very upright sort of forward fold, no problems. Try to keep that back nice and straight. When I say straight, I mean don't round your back, so don't go like this. So it's not that important to touch your head to your knees or toes or shins. Wonderful. Breathing in, coming out of the Paschimottanasana. We're going to try and sit in the Vajrasana now. Vajrasana is the Japanese kneeling pose. So you just folding your knees, trying to sit in between your heels, your toes are touching each other. Now, if this posture for some of us is very difficult to get into, no problems at all. You can either slip a cushion in between your thigh and your calf, or you can raise yourself. You can sit on a brick, and then sometimes it's easier. Now, if either option doesn't work, no problem. Just sit in cross-legged or stretch your legs out, whatever works. So we're going to start by just stretching your fingers out and making fists. So just warming up our fingers and hands a bit. Stretch, fists, stretch, fists. A few more times. Okay, intertwining your fingers and making figures of 8 or just circles with your wrists, warming up your wrists a bit. Change direction. Starting to work our arms and our shoulders now, so pushing out and keep pushing. Taking your palms towards your chest, pushing up towards the ceiling. Push, push, push. And we'll do the sitting down Tadasana now. So starting to stretch from the base of your spine. Keep going. We're going to hold this asana. So this is the sitting down Tadasana. Feeling the stretch through the sides of your body, arms, and pushing the palms up as well. Holding the stretch. So release the stretch, but our arms are still up towards the ceiling. I'm going to release my right hand down towards the mat, and I'm going to dip down to the right. So dipping down, see if you can look up to that left hand that's going by your ear. Hold. Straighten. Take the other hand up, releasing the left hand down to the mat, and dip down to the left. See if you can look up to the left hand. Bringing both of your hands back up towards the ceiling. Big circle of arms. Release your hands down. So from here we're going to take our hands behind our back, and we're going to intertwine our fingers behind our back this time. And we're going to start to straighten our elbows. Keep the clasp as it is. Trying to pull your shoulder blades towards each other, arms back, looking straight ahead. Now, see if you can start to lift the clasp off the mat, trying to keep those elbows as straight as possible. And now lastly, see if you can, this is completely optional, but see if you can start to release your chin towards your chest for a bigger stretch. Straighten your head, release the clasp, just give your hands a bit of a shake, and then from here we are still going to working with the same sort of theme. We're going to clasp those hands again behind our back, and we're going to take that clasp to the right of your waist, and then see if you can tuck that right elbow back, sitting nice and straight, giving that left hand a big stretch. Release. Doing the same on the other side. So my clasp goes to the left of my waist. I tuck that left elbow back, sitting nice and straight. release. Okay, so from here we are going to come onto all fours. So palms are roughly underneath the wrists are underneath your shoulders, knees are underneath your hips, and we're going to start with the cat-cow. So releasing your navel down, taking your head, looking forwards, tailbone out, head out. And now rounding your back, Marjarasana. Taking your chin towards your chest, pushing the floor away from you, rounding your back. We'll repeat this at your own pace. Breathe in, stretch. Breathe out, round. 2 more at your own pace. Coming into a neutral back, and then from here we'll do a bit of a balance towards the end of the class. So raising your right hand up parallel to the ground. Once you feel steady, you can start to straighten the left leg and lift that off the mat as well. Engaging your stomach muscles. Like I said, a bit of a balance. Two-legged cat. Releasing your right hand down, releasing your left knee down, doing the same on the other side. So lifting your left hand up, palm facing downwards or palm facing sideways. Once you feel settled, then you can start to straighten the right leg as well, balancing in this two-legged cat posture. Drishti, gaze can be down to the mat. Releasing the hand down, releasing the knee down. We're going to do some movements in this posture now. So we're just going to start to, first let's walk the hands slightly further up. Depending on the shape of your body and the length of your torso, you might need to move your hands slightly up. All we're doing is we're going to sit back in the child's pose and then move up and release your stomach down into a sort of a modified upward facing dog. So if you don't want to go as deep, you can just do some shallow movements. You can just do some gentle movements back and forth. So you can keep it really gentle, or you can do the full stretch where you sit down in the child's pose, release your head down, and then come up, release your thighs down, looking up and doing the upward facing dog variation. Moving back, doing this at your own pace. Breathing out in the child's pose, breathing in the upward facing dog. 2 more repetitions. And coming to neutral. So from this neutral posture, we are going to walk our hands further up and we're going to do happy puppy, or also sometimes called as the Anahat Asana. So walking your hands up, releasing your chest down, your chin down or forehead down. So if you want a bigger stretch on your shoulders, then you take your palms further apart. So maybe take your palms mat distance apart, and you'll straight away notice that stretch right at the center of your shoulders. Easy breathing. Taking your head up a bit, bringing your hands back to center, we're going to do the needle and thread variation. So we're going to take our left hand from underneath the right, release the left side of your face down onto the mat. Feeling that stretch on your shoulder, on your mid-back. Feel free to, if you want to, close your eyes down. Going in the opposite direction, taking the right hand from underneath, releasing your right side of your face down onto the mat. Breathing in, coming out of the needle and thread, coming back onto all fours briefly, and we're going to sit down in the Vajrasana. So we're going to do the Mandukasana. So we'll do last two asanas for this evening. So we're going to make fists. So take the thumb inside, make fists with your hands. The inner side of your fist goes on either side of the navel. Breathe in, straighten your spine, and then breathe out as you fold forward. Manduk is frog in Sanskrit. Now, as you breathe out and fold forward, once your exhale is completely done, try and keep your breath out. So try and not breathe in quite immediately. When you feel that you can't hold your breath out anymore, start to take easy breaths in and out, but you're still folded forward. Keeping your head and neck nice and easy. Lovely. Breathing in, coming out of the Mandukasana, and we're going to rest in child's pose as a last pose. So we'll do the classic variation of the child's pose, Shashankasana. We're going to release our head down, and we're going to take our hands on either side of our legs, releasing your head downwards. Easy breathing. Lovely. Coming out of the Shashankasana, child's pose, sitting in any posture where you can keep your spine nice and straight. I'm going to sit in the Sukhasana. We're going to end the class by doing some deep breathing. Easy, deep breathing. I'll talk us through a couple of minutes of some pranayam type practices, deep breathing. Let's end up with that. So, starting to relax, rest your breath and notice your breath. Following the breath from the nostril all the way in to your stomach, and then from the stomach all the way out. Trying to keep your breathing nice and slow, nice and deep, making your inhales and exhales slightly longer than normal. Feel free to close your eyes down if you haven't already. Using back support or sitting in a chair is absolutely okay. still keeping your breath nice and deep, nice and slow. We're going to start to include the Ujjayi breath on the exhale. The Ujjayi breath is where you constrict your throat a bit and you make a sighing sort of sound. You're still breathing out through your nose, but you should be able to hear your own exhale. It's sometimes called the ocean breath. On the inhale, you keep your breathing still and the breath still nice and open. So let's keep going. Nice open breath, inhale. Constrict your throat and exhale. A few more rounds like that. If you have the time, do keep going for a few more breaths. If you have some more time, feel free to lie down on your mats, on your backs, and rest for a few minutes. But thank you so much for joining the session today.